Hey guys, Dr. Rob here with Strategic Purpose Academy, where we're talking about every single week how to make sure that you are living your life, your business, your career on purpose, being intentional about everything that you do. And so we've talked about creating strategies to be able to put legs to your goals, your vision, your mission in life, how to be able to make that happen. And so now you've got these goals. For some of you guys, it's been creating more revenue stream by bringing in more clients into your business, more new patients into your business. Let's talk today about retention. Retention really is the thing that a lot of people don't talk about. A lot of people don't talk about retention because it's not as sexy as bringing more new business into your business or more new patients into your practice. But at the end of the day, guess what? If the new people that you brought into your business stayed and never left, you would be busting at the seams. And so what I find with most people is they don't have a new client or a new business problem. They have a retention problem. And so if you can close the back door, the side door, and or just leave all the doors open and create an environment where nobody ever wants to leave, it makes life a lot better for you. It makes life a lot more predictable for you as well. So one of the things that we talked about today with the assignments and the lessons is we talked about walking people up this ladder, but not walking them up the ladder on their first visit or getting them into the office or even their second or their third visit. It's continuing to keep on walking them up this ladder so that you're meeting their needs at the same time. And all of the lessons for this week were all about how to figure out what the needs and the wants of your patients are. I know we talked about even before hiring is finding out what the needs and the wants are of the people in your office, your team, your staff. And so this is true for your patients also. So if we're using these principles in every single area of our life, can you see how your retention, your joy can be a lot more as well? So what we talked about in the assignments was then making sure that we're continuing to keep on walking them up the ladder with things like a mission day that we talked about. We talked about our True Health Results Faster class that we have in the office, where we're teaching people how to be under chiropractic care for the rest of their life, how we're teaching them how to be clients for the rest of their life. We talked about the Dinner with a Doc, which is another great way to make sure that this is happening. Your re-exams, and we're going to talk about going even beyond that today. But first, I want to review and talk about how is it that we create people who are addicted to you, who are addicted to your community, who are addicted to your practice. The way we do that is making sure that we understand what these human needs are that people need to keep them connected to your practice, to your business, to you. We talked about there's needs for certainty. There's needs for uncertainty. Certainty being that they know that you know what it is that you're doing. They know that your team knows what it is that they're doing. That they're absolutely certain that you are the answer to their problem. So we talked about creating certainty. We also talked about people have a need for uncertainty. So people actually have a need for change. They don't want to do the same thing over and over and over and over. Why do you think so many people are addicted to Facebook? Because they can scroll through things that are different every single second of the day. People need some uncertainty in their life. They need change. So you got to make sure that you're changing things in your office. So one of the assignments was, what are some of the things that need to change on a regular basis? Maybe it's your communication with your patient. Maybe it's the aesthetics of your practice. Maybe it's the look of your practice or your business that needs to change on a more regular basis. What is it that needs to change to meet your patient's need for uncertainty? We also talked about significance. Everybody wants to make sure that they're wanted, that they're significant. A lot of times after the day two and that person hands you a check for $2,000, $3,000, $4,000, whatever it is for your office, they're forgotten about because you're so busy moving on now to the next new patient, right? How do I get more new patients? What do I do to get more new patients? How can I be able to attract more new patients? Your marketing is all geared towards that. Your conversations are geared towards that. Stop it, right? How do I make sure that I go deeper in my relationships with our patients that we do have so that they feel significant? How do we make that happen? Then we also talked about love and connection. How do we make sure that our patients are feeling loved and feeling connected, and how can we be intentional with that? How can we make that part of our systems? If you don't have that baked into your systems, it's going to be impossible to get reproducible results when you're not actually in the practice. Not good, right? So even like myself, I wasn't in the practice yesterday. I take that back. I was in there for a couple of hours just working on the business in the morning, but I wasn't there for the rest of the day. I look at our stats this morning from yesterday, and the stats showed that they collected $6,000 and I wasn't even there. What a great feeling. They didn't need me to be there to be able to make those things happen. It's because these things are baked into our systems. And so that's why it's important to do the assignments to make sure that you have it baked into your system. Then they have a need for growth. So they want to make sure that they're getting better. Even the slightest or the most insignificant changes need to be recognized, because your patients or your clients, they want to make sure that they're growing. And so how can we measure their growth? So you got to make sure that you've got standards in place so that you can be able to measure the growth of the people that are coming in. And obviously that happens when we do a re-examination or a re-x-ray, but that can also happen on a daily basis when they're on the table, letting them know that, hey, this is better. Being intentional about that, looking at the schedule in advance so that you can be able to see those people who have been doing better, and even those people who may still be in pain or they're hurting. What are some things that are better for them? Most of the time, people's minds or their psyche is going to go to what's bad, right? It's just how we've been programmed. We need to reprogram in them, in their brains, how to make sure that they know that they're doing better, right? Then we talk about contribution. How can they contribute back? So they're getting better. They want to help other people to be able to get better as well, but most of the time they don't know how. And we talked about in the assignments how a great way for somebody to be able to contribute and show you that they care about or want to be able to help you is by posting a Google review or a 5-star Facebook review. Super easy thing to do. When you see somebody that's grown, that they've gotten better, you just ask them, right? So another way for them to be able to contribute, right? And when they're contributing, what that's doing is that's helping to be able to create more of a community, right? And so at the end of the day, creating these addicts that we're talking about is really all about doing this, is making an impact on the people that we serve. But not just making a superficial impact. Is we got to ask ourselves, how do we go deeper with the people that we're serving, right? So many people want to go wide, but they don't want to go deep. Wide is, hey, how do I figure out how to bring in 80 to 120 new patients into my office? Have you guys ever heard that before? I know I was with a coaching group before that's what they said, is that 80 to 120 new patients cures and solves everything. What I found to be true is 80 to 120 new patients makes things a freaking mess, makes things super chaotic, right? And what that does is that does not allow you to truly go deep with the people that you are serving. And when you are going deep with the people that you're serving, they don't want to go anywhere, and they want to refer their friends and their family members into the practice as well. People that are just like them. So we can't forget about that. Retention is huge. From a business perspective, think about it this way. If you knew that, and you could be able to reproduce this, okay, and that's what we're talking about today, is reproducibility with retention. Because our retention is consistently over 100. In other words, meaning that we could say somebody starts care in our practice, and we can predict that they're going to be getting care for at least 100 visits, at least, right? So how do you figure that out? You can take the number of people that you see in a month and divide that by the number of new people who start in your practice or your business every single month, and that can show you what your PBA or your retention number is. So now it's expected. So let's say that you had 20 people that re-signed, okay, or started with you every single month for a year, right? And so they were doing that every month, and you could be able to predict that. And let's say the average re-sign amount or collection value of that re-sign would be $2,000. Well, 2,000 times 20 people re-signing repetitively, that's $40,000 a month that's coming into your practice. Now, that right there should more than cover your overhead. You're already in the profit and you haven't even seen a new patient. How cool is that, right? That's expected. And you know what that is? That is freedom. That's freedom in the fact that you know that all your bills, everything is covered, you're getting paid, your staff is getting paid, everybody's taken care of, and now you can look at bringing in some new patients, but you're not so stressed out about feeling like you got to bring in 80 to 100 new patients every single month, right? And so it's all about the retention. So how do we go even deeper? So what you have to do is you've got to figure out in your practice, what is the one thing that makes the deepest impact on your patients who have been there for a long time, so that you can do a poll. Okay, here's what it is that we did, is we took our favorite patients and we pulled them over aside and we gave them a little questionnaire. And one of the things that we did, yes, Michael, retention is a beautiful thing, and you know what it's like, right, at our office. And so let's say you polled, okay, and you can do a questionnaire. You can do this through SurveyMonkey online. You can do this. You can do this through Google Docs. You could send a Google Doc to all these people, and then you could also give them like a $5 gift card to a coffee shop down the road just for filling out the survey for you. And you can ask them, why is it that you've chosen us as your wellness provider? What is it that keeps you here and keeps you coming into the office? Or why is it that you've been coming in for such a long time? What is it that's changed since you started care here in our practice? And what would you say has been the biggest impact that chiropractic has had on your life here in this office? And what you'll start to see is you'll start to see why people have chose you to be their wellness care provider. You'll start to see what your avatar looks like, and that's going to help you when you're creating your target markets. If you do Facebook ads, your target market for who it is that you want to attract into your practice. If you're doing talks out in the community, that's going to show you who you should be doing your talks to. Because I can tell you this, we've gone and done talks to groups of 40 or 50 people that weren't even in our target demographic. And we've had them show up to their day one and they don't come back to their day two because they weren't our target demographic. So this questionnaire, this shows you exactly who it is that you should be talking to. That way, when the people hear you speak, they're like, he's my guy or he's my girl. This is exactly where it is that I should be. So when we polled these people, it was really cool because we could see that a lot of the people that filled out the questionnaire had said, and by the way, most of them didn't say that they came in or their biggest or their deepest impact was that they got out of neck or back pain. It was like the deepest impact was, yeah, you guys have helped me. You guys helped me to avoid surgery. You guys helped me to get off my medication. You guys helped me to not have asthma anymore, to not have sickness, illness, and disease anymore, which was really cool because then we could be able to target that demographic, right? So we knew who we were talking to. Good stuff, right? Thanks for the thumbs up, Tabor. Love you, bro. And so anyway, so do that questionnaire right there. See who your target is, and then you can be able to speak to those people. Another thing that we've done so that we could be able to go deep with our folks is we did a VIP dinner. Now, a lot of people talk about dinner with a doc. A lot of people even talk about doing a community appreciation day or a patient appreciation day. Patient appreciation days never really resonated with me. And here's why they didn't resonate with me. They didn't resonate with me because everybody that taught how to do a patient appreciation day, they said that, well, when you do a patient appreciation day, you have people come in to be able to get free exams, get free checkups, or free x-rays, or get free adjustments. Well, number one is, I don't like to give away free anything because I feel like it devalues what it is that we do. But when you say patient appreciation day, how is that appreciating the patients that we have in our office? If it's all about them bringing their friends, their family members, and their loved ones, how am I appreciating the patient for actually bringing in new business, right? And our patients could sniff that out. That's why it didn't resonate with me. What about giving value to your patients who are your best patients? So those people that you picked out to be able to get that patient avatar from, what about sending them a nice invitation that invites them to come to a dinner that you're going to be having catered, customized to them? In fact, the way we do it at our office is we do it around Thanksgiving, so this is the perfect time to be able to do this because it can also set the table for doing like a food drive or a toy drive or whatever your drive is going to be for Christmas or whatever marketing kind of event that you have for Christmas. But what we do is send them an invitation, and we actually rent food trucks. So we have food trucks come into our parking lot. This may not work in some of the northern states, but down here in Texas where it stays warm, right, throughout November. And typically November is when things start to slow down a little bit from a marketing perspective. And so we would just do a VIP dinner for all of our favorite patients. We bring the food trucks out. We put linen on the tables. We set things up. And what we do is we just appreciate and we love on our patients. We also will give them all questionnaires to be able to ask them what it is that they love about us as well. We'll have fun times. We'll do a raffle. We'll give things away. But really what it's designed to do is to be able to create value for our patients. And the reason that we do that is because what we did is we took a look at our practice, like I was saying with those questionnaires, because we wanted to see what it is that the patient's favorite things were in our office. What was one of the favorite things that kept them coming back? And one of the things that our patients said was they loved the events that we had. In other words, they loved our advanced workshops, or they loved coming to, if we had a wine, women, and wellness type of an event, they loved that. They loved coming to the things that were extra. They loved coming to a fitness class on a Saturday or coming to a run walk club. They loved doing those things. And what we saw was the people that had 200 or more visits, or people who had been with us more than 5 years, were the same exact people that had come to those events. And here's the great thing even about these events, is these events can be things that you do through technology nowadays. You could do a webinar for them as a special event where you target these folks as well, just to be able to do some extra education for those people. But what we found is that a lot of people would say retention is all about education. That's not true at all, okay? Think about this for a second. I know a lot of people that they will not buy a phone other than an Apple product or an iPhone, just like this is right here. You know what? And the real deal is this, is I'll probably get the iPhone 8 or I'll get the 10. And you know what? I don't need to be educated on all the new features of the iPhone. In fact, I'm kind of irritated about the fact that there's not going to be a hole for the headphones in my next phone. I like to have headphones with the cord, right? I'm irritated about those kinds of things, so I really don't need to be educated. If I was educated more about the iPhone, I'd probably be irritated and I might never get another iPhone, but because I'm involved in the culture that they've created, and I happen to be a person who, you know what, I have a need for uncertainty, like what it is that I'm talking about right here, and what that means is that I have a need for change. I like new things. I like shiny objects. So the fact that the new iPhone is going to be sleeker or the 10 is a little bit bigger, it's different, right? I don't necessarily need it, but it's different. So whenever we have these events, it makes things different, right? So it's meeting that need for significance, right? It's that shiny object. Another way that we can be able to create an event for somebody would be even to send somebody something in the mail that they're completely not expecting. I know recently Dr. Ed Osborne, you guys may have seen it, I posted on Facebook about it. I posted how he had sent me this box, right? This man box. And in the box it had a shave kit, but it was a wooden box that I had to pry open with a freaking crowbar, right? I couldn't even get it open with the crowbar that it came from. I had to get the hammer out just to be able to do that. But you know what that was? Is that was an event that happened, right? And so, you know what? That means that as far as our relationship went up to another level because of that event right there. So think about what happens to our patients and our clients whenever we have those types of things for them where we're doing it share just out of the fact that we want to love on them and we want to appreciate them, not because we want them to give us new business. The result is they will tell their friends and their family members about you. And that's really what it is that's happened with our practice is we've got this practice now where we don't have to bring in any more new patients to be able to keep that baseline as far as the collections go. I would never have to come back into the office and people come in. We brought in a lot of different associate docs in the office. And you know what? It's part of the culture. You know what? People are like, hey, there's another associate doctor. I'm not going anywhere because, you know what? I have a need for uncertainty, or I'm that ingrained into the culture here in the office. And you know why that is? It's because we've made a deep impact on that person. So start looking for ways that you can make a deep impact on the people that you serve. Literally, as soon as we get off the live today, just start writing down what are ways that you can make a deeper impact on for the relationship that you have with your patients and your clients, right? How can you be able to make a deeper impact? What I also want you to do is I want you to write down, what do you think the one thing that you do at your practice that keeps people coming back in? What is that one thing? And the reason that you have to find out what that vital one thing is because if you could put focus, time, and energy into that vital one thing, you'll have patients that'll never want to leave. You don't have to do 15 things if you can figure out what that one thing is. So like I said, it was the events. And so I went to trying other different things with technology, like sending out, for example, like our True Health Results Faster class, sending that through an email. And you know what I found out is that wasn't an event enough to keep our patients sticking around. We had to do something for them that was a live thing. So when we started doing those types of things live for the people rather than emailing it to them, we got that relationship back that we had missed, right? So you got to figure out what it is for you and then focus on it. For us, it's doing those events. So people look at us and they love the events. They tell other people in the community about the events, and they tell their friends and family members, hey, you know what? Our chiropractor does these things that nobody else does. And so now it's one of those things that's just become an expected thing. That's why we just did our Wine, Women, and Wellness event. The ladies in the office, they absolutely loved it. I know, Dr. Michael, you got to come to that when you were in the practice. You helped us out. Molly was here for that. You know, it's one of those things that people expect. You know, they got their hair done, they got their nails done, they got a massage, they got manicures done, and we just got to love on the ladies. And you know what? They're not going anywhere. They absolutely loved it. Do you think that those people are going to re-sign again? You better believe it. They're going to re-sign again. So there you go. That's retention, all about going deep. I'm going to put my checklist for my how-to for the VIP dinner that we do. I'm going to put that in the resources on the Facebook page so that you guys can have that. And also, I've been thinking about this. A lot of people ask me about my dinner with the doc as well, because that's one of the things that we do, one of the keys to our retention, not just bringing in new folks, but making sure that every one of our patients come to that. One of the things that I don't do is I don't require it. I don't require people come to the dinner with the doc to be a patient in the office. That's just not my style. However, all of our new patients do come to that. So if you want to see that dinner with the doc and how I do that, just put in the comments, type yes, and also type yes what I'm going to do, because a lot of people don't do this, but for me, I do it as a PowerPoint. A lot of people don't do a PowerPoint, okay? Here's the reason why I do the dinner with the doc as a PowerPoint is because everything that I do, I want to make sure that there's duplication, there's reproducibility as well, and in a pinch, I want to know that one of my staff members could do it for me because I like to be able to do things live. I haven't yet done a video one, and that's where I'm moving to. The next thing that I'm going to do is a video one, but even with the video, to be able to make sure that I don't miss anything, I'll still use the PowerPoint. And the great thing about our dinner is our conversion rate is super duper high with the dinner, and it's super low key. I don't do any hard sells with it. It just flows smooth. And if I've got 20 guests at a dinner with the doc, you can bet that 16 of those 20 guests are going to sign up every single time. Sean Andrews, who runs the ads that I use for Facebook, who's a part of this group as well, he will attest to you that those numbers are completely accurate as well, and that's simple, it's duplicatable, and it's reproducible. Wine, Women, and Wellness was such a great event. Dr. Michael, yeah, absolutely, and yes for the dinner. Okay, cool. Yeah, I'll put that in there, and that's going to be just for you guys. So the one thing that I ask of you guys is just don't share that with a lot of other people, because that's actually a product that I put out, but I felt like you guys in the group should get that. And so I want to make sure that you guys do get that. Just don't share it with everybody. That's the one thing that I do ask. And then you guys can go in there and edit the slides as needed as well. But I'll make sure that that gets up in the resources as well. So it's all about making a deep impact with the relationships that we have. That's what retention is all about. So there we go. So that's this week. Also, if you haven't already looked at the hiring module, take a look at the hiring module. It's huge. One of the things that we talked about even before that with relationships is getting rid of the toxins. And it's crazy because we just had 2 staff members that were part of those toxins that, you know, sometimes you hang on to them longer than you should. And last week was their last days in the office. Last Thursday was both of their last days. And this week, this is so cool. So if you're ever thinking about whether or not you should let somebody go, you should let them go. You're hanging on to them too long. Don't think about it. Okay, it's time. So this week in the office, we've had our highest conversion percentage week that we've had for the entire year. We've had our highest collections week in the practice than we've had in the entire year. We've started more people this week than we have in the entire year. We've had more call-ins for new patient requests for appointments than we've had in the entire year. So everything has just gone like this, and that's because we don't have those two people. And now not having those two people was intentional, okay? What I mean by that is they didn't just quit. It was time for us to upgrade and make sure that our entire team was really functioning at 100%. So like I always tell you guys, as I'm going through the modules and giving this information to you guys, I'm doing these things again myself. And I'm taking a look inside going, where are we at with our practice? Where can we upgrade things as well? And that's what we do. And I don't want to be that coach that's out there telling you to do things, but isn't actually doing those things himself. So I'm practicing what it is that I'm preaching to you guys. And that right there is a testament and a testimony that this stuff works. If it works for me, it can work for you guys too. I love and appreciate you guys. You guys have a phenomenal week. Next week is going to be all about productivity. How do you get a ton of stuff done? So we're going to be talking about the productivity habits of the most successful people on the planet. How is it that the most successful people on the planet can get the most stuff done on the planet, but look like the most chilled out, relaxed people on the face of the planet? I know I've learned a ton going through that myself, and so I want to bring that to you guys also. Again, if you guys have anything, any questions, anything that you guys need, always leave it in the comments. Put it in there for sure. Awesome. I'll definitely get you that dinner at Dr. Michael. So you guys have a great day. Be blessed. Have a great week and live your life on purpose. You guys take care.